It's Mother's Day tomorrow, and I'm so excited to celebrate my mom and all the other cute little moms that I have in my life. I've just decided to make these four lovely ladies that I just love a sweet treat. These are some flower pots that I made out of candy melts, and I just used a little mold. I used like an actual like plastic flower pot that you can buy at the dollar store, and I cleaned it out real well, poured some candy melts in it, and I was able to cut it off and get these flower pots. So now I'm going to fill them with some goodness. We're going to fill them with chocolate cake. I have raspberry mousse. I have like a raspberry like puree level going in. I've got some chocolate ganache and some raspberries and the chocolate mousse as well. So I'm going to show you how I'm going to layer these babies up. I'm first going to start with my chocolate cake, which I cut. I just cut them into little circles, so I'm just going to place them at the bottom of the pot. They're going to be my base layer. So I'm going to start with the chocolate cake for all four of these. This goes nice and in there. Alright, now that the chocolate cake is in there, I'm going to do my ganache, okay? So I'm just going to do a layer of chocolate ganache. Now, this is really liquidy right now, but it will set when I put these in the fridge for all of it to set. I want really kind of clean looking layers. So my next layer is going to be the raspberry mousse, but I don't want it to sink into my ganache, so I'm going to put these babies in the fridge so that ganache layer can set. Alright, the chocolate ganache has had time to set, so I'm going to put my raspberry mousse in the pots. So this raspberry mousse is made with fresh raspberries. So I'm just going to do a layer that's about half an inch thick. You could probably do like 3/4 of an inch. 2, because we still have another cake layer and another mousse layer. So we want to make sure there's enough room in each of the pots for all the layers. And on the tops for dirt, I am putting crumbled Oreo, just like an Oreo crumb. So I just want to make sure we'll be able to get every single layer and that it will look nice. So I put my raspberry mousse in. I'm going to take fresh raspberries and just stick them and press them into the mousse. I'll do probably like 5 or 6 in each layer, and so each cup will get 5 or 6 in this raspberry mousse. These have been washed. I pre-washed them just like I pre-washed my hands. Alright, they have the raspberries in, so I'm gonna go put them back in the fridge to let the raspberry mousse set and cake layer in. Okay, so they've come out of the fridge and my raspberry has kind of set and it's at a pretty good place, so I'm gonna put my second layer of chocolate cake on. These are in halves, so I can just slide one half in, slide the next half right on top, kind of squish it in there. And then that's for most of them, but I ran out. Well, I didn't run out, so I wanted to be able to use all of the cake that I was cutting out, and I didn't have enough room to cut out any more half circles or circles, and so I'm just going to use scraps for one of these cakes, one of the little flower pots, and I'm just going to fill it in with some cake scraps so I don't waste any cake. Okay, my cake's in. So what I did is I made So part of the raspberry puree that I made for the mousse, I saved some of it because it had a little bit of gelatin in it, and I made just like a little fresh raspberry circle thing, and it tastes delicious. So I'm going to put it in one of my pots, and it has some parchment paper on one side so I could get it out easily. So I just took off the parchment paper, and I was experimenting because I didn't know how I was going to get this puree out of whatever I put it in. So I put it in some round Tupperware containers and put parchment paper at the bottom of some of them. And I also put it in like the bottom of this one, but I didn't put parchment paper in it, so it's not coming up as easy as I wanted it to. So I'm just going to take little splotches of it and put it in my mousse pots. I'm going to put the mousse in on top of since the gelatin's already kind of set, I'm not going to set that layer. We're just going to put the mousse in, and we're going to lay it out on top of the raspberry layer. I'm doing this video actually in 2 days. Because I'm not serving these today, I'm serving them tomorrow, and I don't want my Oreo crumbs to get like soggy and wet, and so I'm not going to put those on until tomorrow morning. And then I'm going to put I'm making some meringue flowers, and so I will finish this up here soon. Today's Mother's Day, so I am about ready to go see my mom here in a few hours, and these mousse pots are ready. It's been in the fridge chilling overnight, and so the mousse is nice and set. And so here I have my Oreo crumbs for the dirt. So I am just going to sprinkle them on top of the mousse. It's looking and smelling like so nice, and with these with the Oreo crumbs, it really does just make it look like there's like dirt in this cute little flower pot. And I have a couple options for flowers that I want to put in my flower pot. So I made some cute little flower pops. These are just, they're like a light pink flower. And then my mom's favorite flowers are daffodils. So I tried making some daffodils with some cupcake liners. I also made some meringue pops. And I also made for my mother-in-law some little roses, some rose pops. Alright, so for this one, I'm going to do the meringue pops. So let's see how it goes. Alright, I have a couple. I cut them into different sizes so we can see like a size difference, and I'm just going to place them into the flower pot. Okay, now what I did is I put ribbon on them, but only to the point where I want to stick them into my flower pot. So I can get some that are lower, some that are higher, just a bunch of varied sizes. So I'm just going to place them in my flower pot to get my bouquet. I'm going to stick this one a little lower, this one nice and high, and I have one more to stick on this side. You can arrange them. I'm going to turn that around and look at it. And I think we're going to call this good. Alright, so that is how I layered my flower pots and how I decorated some of them. Thank you.